Hello there, you're watching VNews Bulletin. I'm Vungo presenting you today top stories as usual.
Party leader requests extra efforts to fulfill education, training reform goal. Vietnam, Brazil agree to upgrade bilateral relations. And later on, Vietnamese professor honored with prestigious Nobel Prize of Asia.
Party General Secretary To Lam holds a working session with the party's Central Committee's Commission for Mass Mobilization on November 18th. More details on the following report.
Since the beginning of its term, the Commission for Mass Mobilization has achieved many successes. It has hosted the implementation of 15 projects submitted to the Politburo and the party secretariat. It has also directed the development of hundreds of thousands of skillful mass mobilization models across the country. Addressing the session, the party leader praised the achievements of the mass mobilization sector. He said the sector should strongly innovate its work in the coming time in order to mobilize the great strength of the people, bringing the country to the new era, the era of the nation's rise. The highest goal of the mass mobilization work in the new period is to bring practical results to the people and resolve the people's legitimate needs and aspirations, he said. The sector must put the people's legitimate and legal interests above all, truly respect and promote the people's right to mastery, and strengthen the close ties between the party, the state and the people, the leader emphasized.
Party General Secretary To Lam attended a meeting with outstanding teachers and education managers in Hanoi on November 18th, during which he asked for stronger efforts to complete the goal of education and training reform.
General Secretary Lum congratulated and commended the education sector, educators and educational administrators for recent achievements in education reform, while sending the best wishes to generations of teachers nationwide, on the occasion of Vietnam Teachers' Day, November 20th. He said that the world is undergoing transformative changes, making educational reform a global trend, and Vietnam cannot remain outside this. The leader proposed aligning training programs with the country's development goals and priorities, by identifying the demands and training content, based on the specific requirements set by agencies, organizations and enterprises employing laborers. He asked for immediate solutions to completely eradicate illiteracy, particularly in remote areas and among ethnic minority communities, adding that digital literacy eradication movements should be launched nationwide. On this occasion, the party chief awarded the third-class labor order to the University of Economics and Business, under the Vietnam National University Hanoi, in recognition of its contributions to training, scientific research and technology.
Vietnamese Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính held talks with Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva in Rio de Janeiro on November 17th as part of his trip to Brazil for attendance at the G20 summit and bilateral activities in the Latin American country.
Vietnamese Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh held talks with Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva in Rio de Janeiro on November 17th, during which the two leaders agreed to elevate the bilateral relations to a strategic partnership and issue a joint statement on the upgrade of the ties. They reached consensus on joining hands to carry out measures enhancing the bilateral ties to be on par with the new framework, comprising delegation exchanges at all levels and cooperation in such areas as high technology, digital transformation, energy transition, biofuel, environmental protection, and climate change response. They were unanimous to bolster collaboration in military officer training, defense industry and trade, military medicine, and peacekeeping operations, among others. Touching on regional and international issues, they concurred to step up cooperation in global governance, the reform of the UN, poverty alleviation, and climate change response. Regarding Prime Minister Chin's attendance at the G20 summit, President Lula da Silva expressed his belief that the Vietnamese delegation will make contributions to the success of the event, enhancing its position, and affirming its role in addressing global issues, through leveraging its strengths and experience in various fields. On the same day, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh attended a Vietnam-Brazil business forum in Rio de Janeiro. Brazil is currently Vietnam's leading trading partner in Latin America. The two sides are aiming to increase trade to $10 billion by 2025 and $15 billion by 2030. Holding that economic cooperation is still not commensurate with their potential and sound bilateral political and diplomatic ties, participants explored opportunities for deeper investment cooperation. Addressing the forum, Prime Minister Chinh called on Vietnamese and Brazilian enterprises to land investment in each other's country, foster collaboration in agriculture and food security, renew traditional growth motives and explore new cooperation space, including aerospace and maritime development and underground spaces. In his conclusion, the Vietnamese leader affirmed his belief in more dynamic economic cooperation that will contribute to the development and prosperity of both nations and strengthen the bilateral relationship. Also on November 17th, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh received leaders of 4 Brazilian corporations in Rio de Janeiro. The firms are aerospace company Embraer, meat producer JBS, Oceanside One Trading, and smart card solution supplier Alterosa. At the meetings, Chinh highlighted the strong and growing Vietnam-Brazil relationship, underscored by mutual political trust and complementary economic strengths. The Vietnamese leader highlighted Vietnam and Brazil's similarities and shared aspirations for peace and development, as well as great potential for cooperation. He called on Brazilian firms to promote investment in Vietnam and pledged that the Vietnamese government will continue improving the country's business and investment environment, speeding up administrative reform and providing optimal conditions for Brazilian investors to effectively and sustainably operate in Vietnam. The Brazilian business leaders affirmed their wish to continue promoting comprehensive collaboration with Vietnam. They proposed making Vietnam a strategic hub for the Asian market and noted their desire to continue purchasing goods from Vietnam and increasing exports to the country.
The U.S. Treasury Department's latest report affirms that Vietnam is not manipulating its currency, highlighting progress in balancing economic and monetary policies.
The semi-annual report evaluates major trading partners, covering 78% of U.S. international trade as of June 2024. Vietnam remains on the monitoring list, alongside China, Japan, the Republic of Korea, Taiwan, China, Singapore, and Germany for exceeding 2 criteria: a significant bilateral trade surplus with the U.S. and a current account surplus. Vietnam's foreign exchange reserves totaled $84.1 billion, while net foreign exchange sales equaled 1.5% of GDP. The U.S. commended Vietnam's efforts to modernize monetary policies, underscoring strengthened ties under their comprehensive strategic partnership.
Vietnam's business and investment climate is showing marked improvements following sustained reform efforts, with enhanced access to business-related information and regulations, reduced unofficial costs, and effective administrative reforms, according to the latest survey by the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or VCCI.
So far this year, the business community has witnessed positive policy shifts from regulatory bodies, with the government actively addressing outdated regulations and streamlining administrative procedures. However, enterprises have higher expectations on the reforms and resolve to handle the bottlenecks of the regulations. One major concern remains fire safety regulations, including specifications for fire-resistant paint, fire resistance ratings, fire separation distances, and water supply system having creating significant obstacles for businesses. Dialogues have been held between state management agencies and associations and businesses to revise the law on fire prevention and fighting to remove roadblocks for them. The transit cargo regulations have challenged the logistics sector as well.
On the evening of November 16th, a ceremony was held in the southern province of Cà Mau to inaugurate a monument commemorating 70 years since compatriots Cadres soldiers and students from the south regrouped to the north in 1954.
Located on the southern bank of the Dog River in Songdok Town, Chunmathur District, the granite monument spans 25 meters in length, 10.5 meters in height, and 8.5 meters in width. It features detailed reliefs depicting emotional farewells and the aspiration for reunification. In the autumn of 1954, tens of thousands of Southerners were sent to the north for training, as decreed by the party's Central Committee and President Ho Chi Minh, to prepare for the liberation of the South and national reunification. Kamau was one of the localities selected as assembly points in 1954. The monument stands as a tribute to the enduring solidarity between the North and the South, and serves as a significant educational landmark in the vibrant coastal town.
Professor Nguyễn Thị Ngọc Phượng has received the 2024 Ramon Magsaysay Award, often called the Nobel Prize of Asia, for a lifelong dedication to researching the health effects of Agent Orange and advocating for justice for its victims.
The award ceremony took place on November 16 in the Philippines, recognizing 5 honorees, including Professor Phượng. At 80s, she donated her $50,000 prize to the Vietnam Fatherland Front in Ho Chi Minh City to support Agent Orange victims. Established in 1957, the award celebrates individuals and organizations in Asia for their outstanding contributions to public service and social justice.
At this year's Creative Design Festival, visitors can dive into unique tours enabling them to experience creative works crafted by artists using Hanoi's iconic architecture as the canvas. Festival organizers aim to connect creativity across generations by mapping routes that blend arts with history, giving new life to the city's heritage sites.
The Tonkin Palace building, once the residence of the Governor-General of Northern Vietnam in colonial times, holds historical significance as the site of the first revolution in Hanoi in 1945. This iconic architectural space has been transformed into a unique creative venue and is open to the public for the first time during the festival.
Previously, I could only see the building from the outside. Its appearance has changed quite a bit, but it still retains its historical charm. Stepping inside, I was overwhelmed by the architecture.
Along with admiring the architecture of the palace, visitors can also explore an installation exhibit in the rear courtyard, offering insights into the timeless values of everyday life. The architects creating the space have carefully balanced creative design with preserving existing structures, ensuring new work complements rather than overshadows the old, enhancing the value of the historic building. Another highlight of the festival is the interactive art exhibition complex titled Indochina Sense, featuring 22 installation art pieces and light performances at the former University of Hanoi building complex, now the University of Science.
The creativity in this exhibition has inspired me to explore and learn more about historical landmarks.
The Hanoi Children's Palace also offers a wide range of interactive activities expected to draw people of all generations to play, learn, and engage with each other. Families can participate in painting on the pavement or playing with sand along the Pavilion Corridor of Innocence and take part in activities at the Hanoi Children's Palace, Nostalgia for the Future, which includes creative installations, design works, symbolic structures, film screenings, and art performances.
The activities here are really diverse and fun. I wish I could come here to play every day.
True to its theme, Creative Intersection, this year's festival not only introduces a new experience route that traces the capital's heritage from the past to the present, but also awakens the city's creative potential. It helps connect and attract creative resources, spreading the spirit of innovation across generations of Hanoi's people.
And that's the end of our bulletin. Thank you for being with us. We hope to see you again soon.